After so long, almost a year, the Rebel Hour is back! What's up, Anime Redux Rebel? This is your boy Judge B coming at you again after a whole freaking year. What's going on? So, as you guys can see, Rebel Hour is back. I hope you like the promo I made. That too was nice little fun. That was the first little thing I did since I've gotten all my equipment. That was the main reason why we didn't communicate, is because my equipment was bad. As you can see, I have two computers. I have a Mac, which is old, rusted, and busted. I've had it since 2007 and it served me well, but it just doesn't do it anymore. So I had to upgrade to my new computer, my new workhorse. I call him Dracul. Yeah. But now that we have him, he works just fine and he does great work too. So hopefully I will be, not hopefully, I will be coming back to you guys with more Rebel Hour. So, while that's all being taken care of, let's talk a few things before we begin this Rebel Hour. One, I want to thank everyone who was part of the Rebel Podcast, Rebel interviews, everything we were doing. It was so much fun interacting with you guys and doing that stuff with you. But I have some semi-sad news. While the Rebel Podcast was fun and all, it's going to be set to the back burner. Because I want to do this. I want to do Rebel Hour. I want to talk to you guys and make effects and skits and make you guys laugh and enjoy yourselves. Podcast is nice and all, but it's not going to be the flagship of this. The flagship is going to be the Rebel Hour of us talking. So we're going to discuss a few things today. Well, mainly one thing that's been really endear to my heart. But before all that, I want to talk to you guys about the future of Rebel Hour. Pretty much, we're going to be putting a lot of stuff. There'll be a lot of vlogs like this with me talking to you guys, discussing a certain thing, would be an anime, a manga, nerd factor, anything that goes on, we will talk about it from here. I'm also going to include interviews with celebrities because I will be going to more conventions now. And now that I have my equipment up and ready and I have a few things to work with some friends, we're going to be doing interviews with celebrities and voice actors and things of that nature. So I'm going to bring it to this channel also. We're going to also be doing a few projects. I'm actually going to working on a secret project right now that has a certain Marvel character in it. So I hope you guys will enjoy that. Now, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Things are changing up a little bit for Rebel Hour, so let's just go straight into it. Let's talk about something that's very near and dear to my heart. Now, honestly, this has to do with like the very first anime I've ever seen as a child. And it is so influential and just everyone knows it. Now, granted, the story isn't, honestly isn't all that good, but the hype behind it is amazing. A lot of people know it, people are just influenced by it, and I think it's the worst shit ever created. And of course I'm talking about Sailor Moon. Yes, I know it's surprising that Sailor Moon was actually my first anime I ever known. But see, I knew Sailor Moon before Dragon Ball Z because Sailor Moon came on before Dragon Ball Z. So, there's nothing I can do about that. But it's not the anime per se that I don't like. It's the characters. One character in particular. And this character kind of portrays an archetype that I cannot stand in all of anime. No, not that character. No, not that character. Definitely not that character. Talking about this guy. Yes, Tuxedo Mask. He was completely useless. From what I can remember when I watched the show, when I was a kid, this is what he did. He would sit in the windowsill, threw down a rose that did nothing to the monster that influenced Sailor Moon to do something, and then he left. Now granted, the flower went from black to red to white, blah. I'm not sure what it meant back then, but I personally don't care. But he represents something more than just being useless, which is actually what he is. But see, what he represents is the Bishonen character. For those who don't know, Bishonens, or Bishi for short, is pretty much, for lack of a better word, girly men characters. The word Bishonen literally means pretty youth, boy. Pretty much these characters are the pretty men that are there just to look pretty. Honestly speaking, they're completely useless to the plot. Tuxedo Mask, an example. As far as I remember back in the day, he did nothing but just influence Sailor Moon to do something that she was going to do anyway. She was going to do anyway. But besides that, he threw down a rose and then he left. What was his point? I know later on in the future, he's like the prince or the king of the moon people, which still confuses me to this day. But besides that, he's kind of useless to the plot altogether. I mean, by all means, correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I know, he didn't do anything plot-wise. Now, there are a few characters who are exception to this observation. That would be like Mid-Eye Trunks, who is the future Trunks. He also named Dimension Trunks. The Trunks who came back in time in Dragon Ball Z. Yes, Dragon Ball Z. And actually did something. He actually helped the characters and the story move on. He introduced the androids that are coming in. He introduced that, you know, they're gonna kill everyone. You guys need to be ready for this. Goku, you're gonna die from a heart attack, dude. Get your stuff together. He's trying to help everyone. He actually does some for plot. He even when he leaves the first time after he defeats Frieza, who at the time was the biggest baddie of them all, he comes in and says, okay, I kill him, you guys need to kill the androids. He even comes back to even try to help kill the androids. Granted, he gets his ass handed to him because, well, nothing really changed. But at least he helped the plot. Even later on in the story, his death helped influence Vegeta to be useful during the fight because he became completely wimpified. It's just, I don't understand, like, after Trunks, the only character who was actually badass but still follow underneath the archetype of being useless Bishonen character would be freaking Sesshomaru. Now, I'm sorry to people who are very into Sesshomaru, but he is essentially useless. I mean, he has all this power. He is a full-blooded demon with not only an age-defying sword, a sword that's imbued with a demon power that's way stronger than what he needs, and he's still useless. He just sits there or stands in screen and does nothing but look pretty and goes, I mean, you have an age-defying sword. You have the ability to turn into a giant wolf demon. Freaking do something! But you know, when he's on screen, the only thing he's there for is to either antagonize Inuyasha, look kind of pedo with his little girl that follows him that he hasn't gotten rid of, and absolutely nothing. There's nothing in the anime that I've seen that he did anything useful. Maybe that one time when Inuyasha and Shomaru combined their powers together to actually do something useful against some kind of cat demons. But that's it. Any other times he's just sitting there looking at the screen like, you are too weak to mess up my finely manicured nails. I mean, he even has an ability of acid hands, a light whip, all this different stuff, but he still doesn't do anything. He just walks around and does nothing. Now, I understand one thing though. I understand the point of these characters. I understand these characters are meant to bring females into the fan base. Because you have to understand that a lot of anime that's being produced and shot out right now is primarily pointed towards young boys. Anime at a time that's really mainstream at this point is all for young boys. But you really can't bring girls into something like that. Well, rephrase that. You can't bring a lot of girls into that because, you know, a lot of girls aren't into that type of stuff. There are quite a few out there who are still into shonen type of stuff. But unless you have that pretty boy, that man that looks completely different from everyone else, is actually a very pretty, well-defined character that brings the girls in. I understand it completely, but for God's sake, make them do something. Don't let them just sit there and be pretty. Have them intricate to the plot. Be Trunks. That's all I ask for Bishonen characters. Be Trunks. Be Mid-Eye Trunks, not GT Trunks. GT Trunks does not count. He is completely useless. GT doesn't exist, so I don't know why I'm even talking about him. But yes, Mid-Eye, future, alternate Trunks. Him all the way. That's what you need to be Bishonen characters. Now, I understand that a lot of people are not going to like this type of talking about Bishis because there are a lot of Bishis out there that people really, really like. I personally hate Bishi characters. Honestly speaking, my very favorite anime nowadays is Berserk because of what they do to the Bishi character. He is not perfect. At first, he's something like the basic Bishi character, Bishi guy. Just, I'm all perfect, nothing will ever happen to me, I'm perfect, I'm perfect, I'm perfect. But then he turns human. He becomes an actual human being and makes a mistake. And that mistake costs him so much that it feels good to see a Bishi character suffer. I know that sounds evil and inhumane, but That's what needed to happen. He needed to be take down a peg. Because he said, he even thought, I'm perfect. I'm going to be the king. I'm going to be the greatest king of all the land because I'm Griffith. That's the only reason why. But as soon as his pride got in the way, like everybody else in humans, he got taken down a peg. Taken down a lot of pegs. Like a lot of pegs. This man got tortured for, I think, years. And it's satisfying. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if that's like something I don't know why I don't know why it is that I don't like Bishis characters, but they just get on my everlasting nerves. Either make them central to the plot, or don't have them in there at all. Don't just have them in there just to, oh, look, little girls, we have pretty men. You like a pretty man, don't you? Make them useful. That's all I ask. Now, that's it for Rebel Hour for now. I know it's not an hour. I'm probably going to change the name of the show again because there's no way I can make an hour's worth of content at this point in time. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're going to come back with a lot of things. Any comments or criticisms is most definitely welcomed. I am welcome for it. If you have things you want to talk about in the next show, by all means put it in the comments. Message me. Do anything you want. Just talk to me, guys. I miss you. I miss doing this. And I hope you guys enjoy the show. I'm Judge B, and I'm signing out.